The way you treat your emotions is likely the way you are gonna treat other people, because all of us carry an emotion all the time. The way we appear and we interact with the outside of us, with the surroundings, with other people, that's gonna be determined by the emotion that we have within at that time. If a traumatized child was to come at your door at this moment, how would you respond to him? How would you deal with him? Would you snap the door at him? Would you lock the door? Would you push him away? Or would you actually treat him with love, compassion, understanding, empathy, and concern? Being concerned, what happened? Well, that's the attitude that you need to show to yourself. That's how you need to treat your own emotions. It's time to understand that if you don't handle your emotions just like you would treat any other emotional creature on this planet, whenever you see a creature or a human being in suffering, you are likely to respond to it positively, concerned. But the moment you go through that, how do you treat yourself? That's a form of self-care that I don't really see. How to treat yourself when you go through those emotions. If you just suppress them, if you just avoid them, if you just distract yourself from them, you will postpone it from reoccurring in the future. And not only that, but because you avoid it, you suppress it, you distract yourself from it, you're not gonna understand it. You're not gonna experience the actual emotion, which in turn will make you insensitive to other people that go through those emotions, because how can you understand something that you haven't experienced, right? So I understand why most people think that someone else is gonna fix their issues. But if you don't do it yourself, if you don't go through it, if you don't allow it to be, if you don't observe it, if you don't experience it yourself, no one else can fix it for you. That's just gonna produce a cycle of that emotion coming and going until you face it, until you take responsibility for the way you feel, until you understand that at some point in your life, in the past, something troubled you. Something has put you in a defense mechanism which keeps going and going. But now you are safe. And because now you are safe, it's time to deal with it. It's time to face it. It's time to allow it to be, to go through your experience and to release it, to let it go, to let it flow away naturally. But the moment you distract yourself from it, the moment you suppress it, that's when you miss out on it. And because you miss out on it, it's gonna come back again. Learn, learn to care for yourself in the real sense. Not just a salty bath, not just doing your nails, that's not self-care. That's a way of changing the way you appear in the outer world. What is inside of you is what really matters. And I can understand why you are concerned about how other people perceive you. But if you suddenly become angry for no explanation that you can find, you cannot find any reason for you becoming angry right now. Well, are you concerned about how you appear in that situation? With that emotion that seems to rule you sometimes. You may find yourself having like a breakdown, an outburst of emotions. Just like you know when you have like an outburst of like positive emotions, you are so happy that you cannot help yourself now expressing it to its fullest. We need to understand that other types of emotions, low emotional states happen for a reason, and we need to go through them. That's part of the life process. You cannot escape what's there for you. You cannot escape it because it's within you. And it's going to rise to the surface every now and then for you to observe, accept that it's there, understand why it's there, understand why it keeps reoccurring, and ultimately understanding and actually experiencing how to treat it and how to, sometimes is best. What I found to be the most helpful for me, it was to treat myself just like I would my own child. For example, if my child if my child was to go through suffering right now, if I'd have a child right now, right, my own child, and that was to see him suffering, how would I treat him? Would I treat him with love, compassion, understanding, empathy, being concerned about its emotion, about the things that he's going through, just like you have a friend that's going through a rough time. You become concerned. What's happening to you? What has caused you to be that way? What's the root cause of it? But then we have events from years and years ago. Most of us had a rough childhood, a traumatic childhood that prevents us from exploring life to its fullest. We have a self-defense mechanism, and we are afraid of experiencing certain things because we no longer want to go through that same experience again. But the moment you release the emotion that keeps you stuck, you will no longer need to face the same atrocity in your life experience again. You will no longer have energetic blocks in your body, in your energetic field. And energy will flow easily throughout your system, throughout your whole being. Energy, pure energy of higher vibration, will find place within your whole being. You just need to let go. You see, you don't just forget the past. You don't just leave the past behind. You heal the past in order to move on. If you don't heal the past, then you think you're right to just go on with your life without healing the past. Well, whatever you come to encounter on your way from that event onwards, you're gonna carry some baggage with you all over the place.